I'm tired. Y'all want to know what I'm tired of? All these boys in my DMs talking about let's chill, let's smoke, let me pull up on you. No! No! Like, why can't you take me on a fucking date? Give me some flowers. I'm literally a fucking princess. And not right now. I don't feel like one. I don't feel like one. So, I'm tired.
Don't you guys find it funny how every second woman on a TikTok video that we see these days seems to think that she is an absolute queen? She thinks that she's a princess and that she is deserving of a man to come around and to serenade her with gifts, to come along, to give her flowers, to take her out for dinner. But unfortunately, a lot of these women are realizing the hard way that men are not interested in doing these things anymore. But guys, these women are adamant on their high standards. And unfortunately, guys, their high standards have seen them come under fire from a lot of guys, because the truth of the matter is, guys, is that a lot of men are realizing that no matter how much a lot of these girls say that they're princesses, they say that they are queens, a lot of them simply are not. So guys, we are once again returning to one of our favorite locations over here on the internet, known as the female dating strategy. And a lot of the girls over here on this particular website are feeling upset because they are feeling attacked about their high standards. As you can see, guys, we have the tag here for Queen SHIT. Okay, and before we jump into the article, I really kind of want to highlight to you guys how a lot of these girls will play a little bit of a word game. Okay, they'll say that they have high standards and that they expect things of men. But guess what, guys? The men, who these women are highly attracted to, don't have to do anything. These women do not have high standards for Chad. They do not have high standards for men that they are interested in. They only have high standards for the dudes that they expect to come along and to fix their lives for them. So check out this article here, guys, again titled Attacks on Our High Standards. And she goes on to say, you have probably noticed that if you express your standards about men, some women and men will say that you should not have such high expectations. If you are a gym bunny and want a sportive man, they will say you should not expect a man to do any kind of sport. That really shouldn't be an expectation when you are looking for a partner. If you want an educated man because you have spent half your life in education, oh, come on, babe, you should not expect the same from a man. Be realistic. Guys, this is something that I see from a lot of these individuals, okay, where they'll go out here, they will get their useless degree in, I don't know, sociology or some crap like that, and then they want a guy who is educated as a result. Or they'll go and get their degree, they'll enter into the workforce, and maybe they actually get a good living. A lot of these girls refuse to date quote-unquote down. They do not want to date a man that they perceive as lower than them, so a lot of them wind up single when they are 30 plus years of age, because guess what? The highly educated men, the guys who are making a lot of money, who are quite attractive, they are not interested in dating entitled women. Okay, if you are going to look away from a man because he is a plumber, because he is a bricklayer, because he doesn't have the useless piece of paper that you have, that is incredibly silly. She goes on to say, and oh, my favorite, you should definitely not expect that a man remembers your birthday and that of the family members. Men are not like us, their head is elsewhere, ha ha. And she has some star emojis here. She says, why don't they say that fine for you to want that, but I don't expect that from a man. Ask them to say it out loud. Okay, if you want a physically appealing man, but I am fine with the man whose max rep is 2 kilograms and has no muscle definition. You know what's funny, guys? Is these girls will say like, oh, I want a guy that I'm physically attracted to. But the problem is, most men are straight up invisible to these women in the first place. Like, the men that these women find attractive, guess what? Every other woman finds that same man attractive. Now, if you want to go out there and you want to compete for that man, if you want to struggle for that man, guess what? You are probably not going to get a long-term monogamous relationship from him. I know it sucks. I know you feel as though you're a princess and that you are deserving of these things. But unfortunately, just because you like the guy doesn't mean that you are going to get him. And guys, I will say this again, okay? The dude who is attractive to these women, he does not have to remember her birthday. He doesn't have to remember any of her family members' names. These girls will simply be happy that he spends 5 minutes of their time with him. Okay, this is like these girls who put all of these demands like, oh, I want you to take me out on a dinner date for the first date. I want you to do all of X, Y, Z. You have to, you know, do all of these chores and then maybe I will like you or maybe we can be physically intimate. When girls start to put requirements and try and make you jump through hoops, all that really tells you guys is that the woman is not interested in you. She's making you do those things because she understands that she can. She doesn't respect you. She doesn't particularly give a crap about you. And the dude who she's actually attracted to doesn't have to do any of these things. You know what's funny? Is like when women say these things to dudes, right? Because they will try it on the men that they're attracted to, okay? But they realize very quickly that the guy is simply not going to do it. Like she'll say to the guy, oh, I think we should stop talking to one another because you just don't seem to put in any effort. You know what the guy who she's attracted to is going to say? Absolutely nothing. He's probably going to see the message and he's going to ignore it because he doesn't care. And guess what, guys? The woman is going to return, crawling back, trying to get him to spend some more time with her. Let's continue. It says, a great idea to have a smart man, but I don't expect my man to have the same educational level as me. By the way, I don't know why these individuals seem to think that a university degree somehow equates to intelligence. Okay, if you want to chase dudes who have the same educational level as you, it doesn't actually mean anything. What, you want a guy who's wasted like 4 to 6 years of his life? Congratulations. Now that's obviously excluding fields such as, you know, lawyers, doctors, etc. But a lot of these girls are graduating with useless gender studies, English, you know, crap degrees. Let's continue. She says, fine for you to want your birthday to be remembered, but your man, I don't expect my husband to remember my birthday and the kid's birthday and his mother's birthday. For me, it's okay if he only remembers his birthday, totally fine. They simply cannot tell us what we should do. What does it matter to them if we have higher standards? Does it change anything in their life? Does it matter to them if one day we really get what we wanted? They are happy with their own expectations, right? This girl is going to be waiting a long time for her, you know, her one day to finally find a guy. Because, guys, I will say this, okay? These girls can find a guy who is going to remember their birthday. They can find a guy who's going to sit there and care about them and who's going to remember the kids and her family members and all of these things. But chances are she's not going to be attracted to him. She wants the bad boy, the dude who doesn't give a crap about these things. Let's continue. She says, ask them to assume their own choices and not bully other women into unsatisfying relationships by telling them what they should do. And we've got a few comments here from some other members of this particular subreddit, actually website, I mean. The first individual says, I remember a man telling me that expecting a man to be handsome and kind was too high a standard, and I said, I meet it, so it's not unrealistic. What absolute narcissism you have to make a sentence like this, by the way, guys. Right, I'm handsome, I'm good looking, okay, which completely, I would beg to differ, okay? Like, guys, the girls who seem to sit here and they say, I'm great looking, and I'm this and I'm that, you actually become more unattractive by saying these things, okay? So even if you are physically attractive, the fact that you're sitting here saying, look, I'm an attractive individual is going to put off a lot of guys. She says women should encourage each other to have high standards, especially if we meet them ourselves. Why date down? Another individual here says, if you pretend we are any other species like a bird or whatever, the males aren't hanging around whining about the too high standard. They either try to meet it or they don't reproduce their genes, period. Yeah, guys, so basically, go out here, do your best to satisfy women, guys. You know, be a little monkey. Go ahead and try and convince women to like you. And if you don't convince women to like you by jumping through hoops, you know, buying them dinner or, you know, doing X, Y, Z that they don't expect of men that they're attracted to, if you don't do these things, guys, apparently your genes will discontinue. Fantastic stuff. This guy is just repeating a patriarchal talking point to even out the playing field for mediocre men and remove any and all an autonomy of choice from women. They also cannot fathom just being single and happy. If I can't find a man with looks and personality, then I will be happily single. But a lot of people don't even seem to know that's an option for women. This individual says, yeah, I know, right? If I said this, they'd all be like, yeah, but it's different for men and women, as one guy said to me, or that I was too full of myself, or that men can go for looks because it's more important to them. Nah, I'm tired of ugly dudes. He has to be hot. I want a man that I can finally be proud of. I love this conversation, guys, because the problem is a lot of men are just straight up not attractive to women for the most part. So you can chase your attractive guy who's well educated, who's going to give a crap about you and do all of these things. The problem is you are probably going to be chasing that man until you are 30 plus years of age, at which point he doesn't even want you anyway. Okay, so you can sit here and you can say, oh, we deserve to have high standards this, high standards that. I mean, that's fantastic, but at the end of the day, chances are you're going to be alone, living with cats by yourself. Laylo here says, something that drives me nuts about standard shaming cool girls is they expected me to just know that they have low standards. When I state my preference, I have no idea what this woman's standards are. She is the one who blows up all angrily like you slighted her. People who are actually confident in their life choices don't feel the need to aggressively defend them. Funny that men can have these crazy high standards for women, but we aren't allowed the same, right? You know what the average guy's standards for women are? The average guy's standards for women is basically, I want a girl who's sane and who doesn't look terrible. That's really it. Like a lot of guys, it doesn't take a whole lot to impress, the average guy. The average guy will be happy with a girl who doesn't consume a bucket load of McDonald's and who will actually be pleasant and nice to him. Like, men really do not have the same kind of standards. This girl sitting here and getting the idea that men have higher standards than women has no idea what the hell she is talking about. Most guys, in fact, I would argue, guys, that we have so many simps out here, so many dudes who would do anything for women just to get attention from women, just to get some sort of affection from women, that a lot of guys actually have no standards or backbone at all. It's incredibly sad. Like, if you guys don't believe me, I'd encourage you to go over to a website like Twitch and just go to like any sort of like chatting section, and you'll see girls in there just like basically half undressed and dudes just trying to get their attention by throwing money at them. It's incredibly sad. Go to Instagram, guys, and you'll see dudes flooding women in the comments saying that they're beautiful and all of these sorts of things. A lot of guys have no standards at all. And it's incredibly disgusting. I think that men should have more self-respect, if anything. But this girl seems to think that men have higher standards for women than women do for men. Absolutely insane. She says, I always see men commenting online whenever a bigger woman was feeling herself that, oh, she's too big for me, she's not my preference, etc., as if she was just posting for them. Yeah, guys, because apparently these girls are posting their bodies for themselves. I don't understand this argument, man, where girls will come along and say like, oh yeah, I'm posting pictures of my body, I'm posting this, I'm posting that, but I'm doing it for myself. You never see them sit in their living room, getting all dressed up, putting on makeup and just posing in their living room. Why? Because it's not for them. It's for attention, it's for validation, and it's for some guy to come along, the guy that she wants, and perhaps like her post. It really just does come down to how much attention can I get for doing this post. It's astounding to me, guys, how these individuals seem to think that women are posting just for themselves. Absolutely hilarious. She says, but of course that's okay because men's folk have it so hard in life they deserve a skinny supermodel to make up for all the misery that they've been through in life over. Getting rejected in high school for being a jackass. Right. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that men just deserve skinny supermodels right off the bat. I really don't see this. I see a lot of conversation about how men need to earn their place in life. I literally don't see dudes walking around going, you know what, man, you deserve a skinny supermodel. I have never heard that in my life, not at all. Most guys feel as though they're not deserving of anything. It's incredibly disgusting. Most guys will walk around, okay, even the dudes who are highly successful, the guys who have things going for them in life, a lot of these guys are beaten down to the point where they feel as though they're not deserving of anything. It's actually incredibly sad. She says, I've dated down in my life and it has never worked out in my favor. Men always grow resentful when they know deep down that you can do better than them, so they destroy you so that you're left with nothing in the end and they can move on without much issue because at least they get to destroy the woman to get back at all the women in the world. What is this girl talking about, man? Let's continue. Corgi here says, pick me, simp for men so hard. And this individual says, why don't they say that it's fine for you to want that, but I don't expect that from a man? I've gotten this mostly from married women who I suspect settled for a low-value man. Easier to tell us we're wrong than to admit their own mistake. I can't even get mad at them for it. I'm just like, wow, it sucks for you. And the last comment we have here says, you're not mirroring them, and that's where the insecurities start playing up. Reframing what they've said as, do you mean insert low standard phrase as bluntly as possible? They can never respond. Bad news, you might have to just torch a friendship. The good news is you probably ran off a toxic pick me, so no real loss. Guys, it is astounding to me that in particular this individual here seems to think that men have higher standards for women than women have for men. Like most guys at this point in time, if they are at least choosing to date, that is, or who are looking for any sort of relationship, would just be happy with a girl who's sane, who's not going to leave him and try and take his assets or cheat on him with his friends or something like that. Like, it really is just not that complicated at all, but unfortunately a lot of girls are finding it very complicated indeed. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. A bit of a brutal one. Make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments, guys. What do you think? Are girls being unfairly attacked for their high standards? What do you guys think? And again, I'm just going to go over this title here. Again, it has the tag here, Queen SHIT, and she says, there have been attacks on our high standards as women. And her name is literally set to Cleopatra. Absolutely hilarious. Guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. And as always, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves. And I will be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo, guys, Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators over here at Fiend Gang, Hidan from Peace of Mind, and Detective Warg. Their channels will be linked in the video description. They've been putting out consistent content for you guys to enjoy, so make sure that you go and show them some love. Their channels will be linked below. Also, guys, if you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure that you come and join us for free over on Locals or Patreon. On Locals and Patreon, you guys get access to archived video content that is no longer available here on YouTube. And supporters also get access to exclusive videos where we cover different kinds of topics that you won't see me talk about here on YouTube because, to be honest, YouTube just really doesn't like it. There's video topics such as how broken families are created and how men can avoid it, bad traits that men can have, the reason why women chase married men, etc. So if you're interested in supporting, make sure that you go and check that out. And lastly, guys, if you're interested in getting a character made like mine, be sure to hit up our artist at the Gecko Ninja. He is linked in the video description as well. He's been doing art for Fiend Gang for quite some time, so if his stuff interests you guys, make sure that you hit him up for a commission. As always, he will be linked below the video. But with all that being said, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one, for real this time. Peace.